What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the real of reality TV. All right, so getting into the real of it all, I wanted to first talk about Robyn because on this last episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac, she and Juan, they're walking around in this commercial space for rent, and she's speaking about, oh, I think this would be a great place. We can have treatment rooms over here, treatment rooms over here. And when I heard her saying treatment rooms, my mind started to wonder before she revealed what she was actually talking about. Because when I hear treatment rooms, I immediately go to business mode myself because I am in the beauty industry. I have been since 2006, wellness and beauty industry. I'm a licensed esthetician, if you must know. But it's just something about when I hear people who are absolutely not involved in the industry and not even, in my personal opinion, really interested in the slightest. It's just a money thing for you. And you also are someone who really doesn't even have money like that. You're just somebody that's just starting to get into possibly having some money. I never feel like it's a good idea. And to be honest with you, I'm just going to be real. I kind of feel a little bit insulted also because I just feel like, oh, well, yeah, it's a big industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry and you want to get in and get a piece of it. But for people like myself who are really passionate about it and we really work hard in this industry, to have someone who just comes along, who just has a name and some money and then they want to get into it too, it's a little bit offensive. But we live in a free country. You know, free to choose, capitalist society, all of that. So I get it. But Robyn, of all people, deciding to get into a franchise, which she has the right to do it, I just don't think it's a good idea. Now, she claims that she's getting into this franchise because after Juan lost his job, they're looking for financial stability. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, it's not, I just don't think it's a good idea because, one, she's not in the industry herself. The best that she could do is run the front desk or, possibly manage it. But I don't even think that she has the wherewithal or the business acumen to do that. And she's going to be relying on the labor of other people who are licensed to work in this industry. And we're really at a point in time right now, especially unless you are willing to pay high top dollar for staff, a lot of times they're not going to stick around and it's hard to even get them in the first place. So of course she's going to be hiring low tier talent, not speaking anything negative about the people, but mainly graduates who are just fresh out of school, who are looking for opportunity to enhance their skills and their experience. But why doesn't Juan step it up and get on his good foot to be that supporter and not the helpmeet? Because the last I heard, even though I know there's some relationships where that works, where the woman is mainly the breadwinner, but I just don't feel that it really works. And especially in a relationship like she has had that has been so contentious. He has been cheating on her. They have just lived together out of convenience and divorce. And then she acts like it's a flex to get remarried to this man who was at a hotel room with a supposed stranger that reached out to him on social media. And he went to the hotel to pay for her room and leave. Yeah, right. Like, I just saw this and I just was thinking, this is one of the most stupid decisions I believe that she could make right now. I don't know what prompted her to do something like that. And then out of all the people that she was speaking to about this business venture, just get their advice, She's talking to Mia, the person who married a man for money, whose family was involved in these franchise locations of the Joint Chiropractic, and now she's no longer involved in it. Like, she can't give you any business advice when it comes to that. But listen, you do what you want to do. I'm not wishing anything negative on her when it comes to her business. I hope she makes it, but I just feel that it's not a smart decision. I really don't. I think anyway, she'd be better off, in my personal opinion, just investing her money in some stocks and getting some financial advisor if she's obviously not the best at that, and doing things that way versus investing in this business franchise where she's going to be relying on the skills and the labor of her staff. I just don't think it's smart. I don't know how much she's getting paid to be on the Real Housewives of Potomac, but we don't know, like, that's not guaranteed either. Unfortunately, and I'm saying this, unfortunately, she probably will be coming back next season. I don't think it's deserved. I really don't. I'm just honestly over a lot of these people on these reality shows when it comes to what they do. And these are the people that are supposed to already be well off, but you're not really. And you're using the show to become well off. And as most people should, yeah, you're getting money, do good with it, invest it, grow, all of that. But you get on these shows and then you become entrepreneurs, not you were already entrepreneurs. You know, it's just fake. I'm just sorry. It's just something about people like this who want to come in to the beauty industry because they have a name and they get some money and then they just feel like it's just going to be that simple. And it really isn't. Again, not wishing anything negative on her, but this is a risky thing. I feel like she would have been better off investing in something where she didn't have to rely upon a brick and mortar location to service clients and having to pay that rent, having to pay the staff, payroll, and all of those things. And businesses like this, they don't turn a profit immediately. I'm nervous for her, really. I am. But with all of that being said, we don't know how it's going to go, so we'll just watch and see. But what happened to the hats? What happened to whatever else? I don't even know what else she was doing. But like I said, getting into something that is really off-brand of who you are, I just don't feel like it makes any sense. She has been like doing what? I don't really know. So to go from whatever it is she really was not doing to get into the beauty industry as a franchise owner, I just don't think it's a smart idea. But anyway, that's me. But let me know what you think about that in the comment section. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about and get your thoughts on is Wendy and Gizelle and the parents' situation. It's a bit sticky in my personal opinion. I felt like Gizelle had an opportunity because she is extremely unlikable. She is. She's made herself that. Nobody is picking on this woman to make her the villain. She has done that herself. And in my personal opinion, on this last episode, when she was briefly discussing her dad and then Robyn revealed a little bit more, I just feel that she lost an opportunity to really connect with people because I don't like her. But when I heard about her dad, it made me feel compassion for her because she's a human being. And I don't care if I hate you. If you're going through something like that, I'm going to have compassion, right? And not even saying that it's going to cause me to flip to start liking you, but it'll help me to just soften my stance on you a bit. And to see her not doing that, and then when she's asked questions about it, it's like she's just one of these people that is like a brick wall. She doesn't want to show any real emotions. And that's part of the thing that makes her unlikable, because she's not relatable. And so you don't have to want to break down on camera. That's fine. And maybe speaking about her dad would have caused her to do that. But even if she had just gotten choked up a little bit and maybe shed a tear and just got up and said, you know what, I got to take a break. Even that alone would, I feel, soften people's stance on her. But to see how she's been behaving throughout the season, not talking to Candace, not talking to Wendy, throwing shade, trying to, make funny jokes about them in the confessionals and things like that. It's like, do you even really care? And I'm not saying about her dad, because obviously she does, but I don't know any real human being who could be so cold and so nasty to other people during a time that they are going through something so hard where they could possibly be losing their loved one. I just don't get that at all. And so to me, it makes it hard for me to show any type of compassion for her. So when I'm talking about this, I'm saying that some people feel that Wendy was not being fair when it came to how she was feeling about Gizelle and saying, well, I don't have anything for her because when my mom was in the hospital, they were calling my mom a witch and doing this and doing that and the other, so I don't have anything for her. I'm not saying that I agree with Wendy, but I understand. But also, Wendy didn't know. She wasn't privy to exactly everything that was going on. And somebody said, well, she shouldn't need every explicit detail of what Gizelle's dad is going through. But given the status of the non-relationship that they have, I just can't say that I don't understand where Wendy is coming from, because Gizelle is the one that makes it hard when she just keeps up this brick wall stance and not showing any type of emotion, not speaking to Wendy and Candace at all. And I feel trying to use Eneka in some ways against Wendy. Like I said, it just makes it hard for me to give Gizelle any type of grace, no pun intended, because I know her daughter's named Grace, but it really does make it hard for me to be able to do that for her. I'm sorry that her dad was going through what he went through. I heard that he did lose his life, and condolences on that front. But again, Gizelle doesn't show anything about herself with this, and I would venture to guess that when it comes time for the reunion, that she's probably not even going to share much about her dad there either. And I think that would be a big mistake. I don't know. That's just my guess. But given her history, she doesn't talk about anything. All she does is either use situations to stir the pot on the show, or use moments with her children to make her look like she is someone that has compassion and that can be likable, but it really doesn't help her in any way. But when it comes to talking about the real that is going on in her life, when it comes to the actual relationships, she was having this fake, in my personal opinion, this fake relationship with this younger guy who's on one of those other Bravo shows that I don't watch. It's like, you're doing these things for a storyline versus just talking about what's really going on in your life. And what was really going on in her life was her dad's life was slowly drifting away. And I'm not saying that people watch shows like this to want to see trauma like that all the time, but if that's what's really going on in your life, let people in. And it doesn't have to be every waking moment. But apparently, she was traveling back and forth with the status of what was going on with her dad. We didn't even know that. We didn't even know that. So this clothing line thing with Ashley, which I feel was just a a quick grift and a storyline, in my personal opinion, GnA, whatever. And the clothing looked horrible. The clothing looked horrible. So I was on Wendy and Candace's side. They were not just being shady. I believe that they would have given credit where it was due, but the clothing was supposed to be athleisure, and it looked like some stuff that you would wear to the space program. It was just like ridiculous. Who's working out in that stuff? It just doesn't make any sense. So oh my God, I'm sorry, that fashion show and that clothing line and what they presented was horrible. It was horrible. Granted, they got this thing together quicker than Sheree could have even thought of the She by Sheree athleisure situation, because we had seen and heard about She by Sheree for 14 years or whatever, and then she finally decided to make it into something that made sense to her, which, because we know her to be someone who's all about working out and being in shape and fit and all that. So she finally got it together to make it into something that would make sense to who she is, right? So I give them that. But that also, to me, goes back to Robyn. What do we know about Robyn in the beauty industry? Like, seriously, it just doesn't even make sense. I just feel, even when Robyn was walking around in that space, she just looked so unsure of herself. And when the agent was talking about the breakdown of the rent and the taxes, which is the CAM, and that's, the taxes and the maintenance and upkeep and all that stuff, that's all together. And she broke it down. She should have just been honest and said, can you just tell me how much it is per month? I mean, just be honest. I have had multiple brick and mortar locations, and sometimes they're just out up front telling you exactly what it is per month. And then some of them, they break it into, how much it is per square foot and all this other stuff, and taxes and maintenance and this and that and the other. And then they tell you what it is going to be per year. And as I just say, what is it going to be per month? Period. Like, seriously, because most people are not paying the rent for a full year. Okay. So just tell me what the monthly rent is. And sometimes they'll do that and sometimes they won't. She should have just been honest. She couldn't even be honest in that moment to say, well, what is it per month? She was like, oh, yeah, that sounds good. She is so clueless when it comes to this. I really don't have confidence and faith in her with this business venture. But again, some people feel like they get on these shows, they're making this money, they're going to use that money to hopefully make more money. But if you don't really know what you're investing in, then I just feel like you're making a big mistake, period. And I think she would have been better off just doing some type of product, or maybe partnering up with someone else who has more experience and more business acumen, and possibly someone who has already had experience in the beauty industry or currently is, to partner up with them versus trying to do it on her own. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. But I brought that back again just to get to the point of doing something where it makes sense to you. GnA, this clothing line, cool idea, but the concept was horrible. The outcome, I should say, was horrible. The clothing looked like, what is this? So when Wendy and Candace were reacting to it during that time, I agreed with them 100%. I don't know anybody who would want to wear that crap. So I don't see that brand sticking. I don't see the website lasting. I don't see them continuing in this business venture. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all. They may sell a few t-shirts and caps or whatever, but other than that, I don't see it going anywhere. If any company, clothing company or whatever, retailer, were to give them an opportunity to carry their line, it would only be because of the names that they have, not because of the product that they have produced. So anyway, guys, let me know how you feel about all of this stuff when it comes to Gizelle, when it comes to Robyn and this business venture, when it comes to Wendy and Gizelle and the parent situation, again, like I said, that situation is a bit sticky, but I understand where Wendy's coming from. I don't think she's just being cold because it's Gizelle, and people should just remember that I don't believe that she even really knew what was the full extent of what was going on with Gizelle and her parent. And she was saying, yeah, well, when my mom was in the hospital, I didn't see anyone of them express compassion for mine. And she's right. So guys, thanks so much for being here. Thanks for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now say bye.